Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining me. This is the morning market review. It is the 8th of February, and my name is Russell Shaw. I'm a senior market specialist at FXCM, and I want to thank everyone for joining me this morning. Just going to go through our disclaimers, and we'll start off with the high risk investment warning. Hey, Raj. Good morning. Good morning, Mia. Terrific to have you on the live stream. I'm just going to keep this high risk investment warning up for a few moments. Okay, here's the market commentaries disclaimer. All right, thank you very much. Let's just go ahead and bring up the real rate. I'll just share this briefly. And then yesterday we said we'll take a look at some artificial intelligence ETFs, some AR ETFs. Hey Anna, good morning. Welcome as always. All right. So this is the daily real rate. I think we've still got to see how we proceed from this resistance area. So we've got this resistance area here. We don't have the reference candle reversal locked in yet. You see, yesterday we had condition 1, which is the highest high in at least 3 candles. We had condition 2 with price taking out the reference candles low, but we didn't get condition 3, which is everything, price closing below the reference candles low. In fact, we've got the yields lifting off somewhat. Hey Kim, good morning to you and welcome. So what we were looking for effectively is for a reference candle reversal to come in and potentially push the real rate down. I'm just going to put a question mark here because we just don't have that. Let's make this black. Okay, we just don't have that signal generating as of yet. So let's just keep an eye on that over the next few days, see if we get a pullback. But what I really want to concentrate on today is some ETFs, specifically AI ETFs. There's a few that I just researched and found, and we'll go through them in a moment. And the reason that we want to take a look at it, I guess, at least for me, the one stock that seems to represent AI is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is really the leading producer of, let's not put it there, it's really the leading, here's NVIDIA, of chips, so to speak, that have AI functionality, capability, etc. And we're kind of moving into this overbought condition here for NVIDIA. And I think that is something that's going to have to be watched, because it's unlikely that the overbought condition can really maintain. You see, the RSI effectively moves according to the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, where 80% of its time it's in normal territory between 20 and 80, and 20% of the time it's in abnormal territory, which would be either below 20 or above 80. So if it's below 20 or above 80, it's not going to maintain there for long, and we would expect some sort of normalization. Normalization to occur. I beg your pardon. Here's Nvidia. Thanks, Anna. So you can see that we've got this overbought condition, and this is Nvidia. And then if we just change this through to the daily chart, there is actually a sort of divergence moving in. I'm not a big fan of divergences. If people use them and are able to use them to their advantage and profitability, that is the sort of first prize. Generally, what happens with divergences, it tends to move into swing highs. Okay. Can you see Nvidia now, Anna? Can you see Nvidia now? Just want to double check. Should be able to see it. So the idea is we've got this overbought Nvidia chart, but other technology companies and companies in general are investing in artificial intelligence. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at some of the top ETFs out there. Is the distance from the EMA significant? Yeah, it can be. I mean, if it gets too far away from the EMA, it acts like an elastic band and could snap it back. But if the candlesticks stop moving up, the EMA will catch up to it. So yeah, there is some sort of correlation there between the EMA, the candlesticks, and an overbought or oversold condition. But I'm not sure there's a causation there, if that makes sense. But we can see it's overbought. Irregardless of the space between the EMA and the candlestick, you can see that the RSI is showing an overbought measure there. So we know that there is an overbought condition. Let's just go back through to the weekly. All right. So let's take a look at the first ETF, and we're going to look at something called ARC Innovation. The ARC Industrial Innovation. It's not a pure play on AR. It's not a pure play on AR, but I think everybody knows the ARC Innovation ETF. Fund manager there, Kathy Woods. And what we can do is we can just bring that up as the ticker. The ticker here would be ARKQ. Let's just go ARC Innovation. Okay. Sorry, ARKK, not Q. We'll look at ARKQ in a moment, but we'll just take a look at ARKK. That's the ARC Innovation Fund. Perhaps not a pure play. We're looking at the weekly chart. What do we see here? There's actually a pullback towards that 30-week exponential moving average. Take a look at the RSI. What's happening with the RSI? It's moving towards 50. It's moving towards 50. So what we can do is just take a look at what the ARC Innovation Fund effectively, what's its top holdings. And I think once we know what its top holdings are, we can come out with some sort of sensical comment to make about it. So ARC Innovation ETF, moving towards its EMA. Just go through its top holding as far as the information I've got is Coinbase. Okay, Coinbase. So and Tesla we've looked at, haven't we? We looked at Tesla when we were looking at the Magnificent Seven. And let's just go ahead and bring up Tesla on a weekly, and you can see actually Tesla's doing quite poorly out of all the Magnificent Seven. It's actually, I've heard pundits on Bloomberg Radio calling it the Magnificent Six. In other words, they've just cut Tesla out of the Magnificent Seven because the Magnificent Six doing okay, Magnificent Seven, nah. So you can see Tesla doing quite poorly here. We go through to the ARK Innovation Fund, and you can see because of those two, those are the top two holdings. We're looking about 9%, 8% respectively. It's pulling back, but another fund just under the ARK banner is called the ARK. There's an ARK Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, and let's just take a look at that. I think it's got more of a scope in terms of AR. So let's just go through and take a look at the Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, and that is ARKQ. That is ARKQ. So instead of ARKK, here we're just going to put ARKQ. Put that in. All right. Again, not looking blowout, right? It's at its 30-week exponential moving average, isn't it? What's the RSI doing? RSI is under 50. Let's just take a look at what its top holdings are. Let's take a look at ARKQ's top holdings, and then we'll take a look at some other AR ETFs which do have more of a bullish push to them. Okay, so let's just take a look at ARKQ's holdings. What is its top holdings? We have here is, lo and behold, Tesla. Tesla is over 10% of its holding. So you can see how Tesla has really impacted on these ETFs. But relative to what? Relative to what? And now we're going to take THNQ. THNQ. So let me bring that up. Okay, the Robo Global Artificial Intelligence ETF. Robo Global Artificial. Let's bring up that. THNQ, what is its major holdings? Okay, what is its major holdings? So, first things, what are the characteristics of THNQ? What's okay? Cheers, Kim. About its RSI. RSI is about 50, but it's nowhere near as overbought. Nowhere near as overbought. So, let's take a look at, first of all, let me just read the profile of what THNQ is. Let's just get an idea of what this ETF is all about. And the fund will normally invest at least 80%, will normally invest at least 80% of its total assets in securities, 80% of its total assets in securities of the index, or the index is designed to measure the performance of public traded companies that have a significant from AR. What's it holding here? Let's take a look, see what it's holding. And its top holdings: Advanced Micro Devices, that's a chip making company, AMD. What's its second holding? Lo and behold, NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA. So to deliver AR solutions. Interestingly, okay, you've got ASML Holdings, Palo Alto Networks, and Microsoft, just to round out the top 5. And you can see that it has a really good looking chart. A really good looking chart. Now, there's another ETF I want to take a look at before we wrap up for today's session, and that is chat. C-H-A-T. C-H-A-T. Okay. The Roundhill Generative AI and Technology ETF. Let's bring that up. Now, we're on this ETF only started in May 2023. This is on a logarithmic scale. So you can see that the steep gradient of this particular share, it's not a function of scale. It's actually moving at pace. It's actually moving at pace. So there is extreme demand for the chat that make up the ETF chat. So let's just go through to the profile, understand what the chat ETF is all about. And the fund is in global equities and exchange listed companies globally, including those in emerging markets, which are involved in the investment theme of artificial intelligence, focused on generative AI and related technologies. Okay. And let's just take a look at its top holdings. It's tending towards overbought, but it's not quite overbought just yet. Okay. Now, if we go into that overbought, there we have to just remember that the Pareto principle suggests that there will be some sort of normalization. However, and this is, I think, key, in that in this chart in particular, you can put in a peak and trough analysis. Take a look at this. You can put in a trough, so your reference T. You can put in a reference peak right over there. Okay. Once you've got your references in, you can see that you've got a higher trough, followed by a higher peak. Okay. And the nice thing about ETFs is they sort of almost indexes, aren't they? You can use them as indexes. So you've got higher trough, higher peak, higher trough. So now there's a series of higher troughs followed by higher peaks. Well, as soon as you have a series of higher trough followed by higher peaks, well, that's an uptrend. If you get some sort of pullback over here, some sort of normalization in terms of RSI overbought conditions, if you get a pullback, as long as it makes another higher trough, the trend's intact. The trend's intact. Then you've got a series of higher troughs. And then what you'd look for is the next higher peak. So yeah, company like NVIDIA does look overbought. But the general AI ETFs actually look pretty good. They all look like they are moving in uptrend. I don't see any kind of movements from zone 1 to zone 2 to zone 3, the typical evolution of bear markets. Don't see that, but I do see some froth that perhaps has to be normalized. What if the AI ETFs are anything to go by, then probably the dips, something to keep an eye on to see if they are dips in an uptrend that we can take advantage of. Okay, so just wanted to take a look at some of the AI ETFs this morning. If there's any questions, just go ahead, type those in. Any questions? All right. What we'll do, we'll revert back to the normal analysis tomorrow. Just wanted to see how frothy that AI space is looking. Yeah, NVIDIA looking, I think, like it needs to slow down somewhat. But the actual ETFs, the ETFs which we're using as indices, looking really, really interesting. Really, really good. All right, let us conclude right here. Have a good day, good evening, and please join me tomorrow. We shall do it all again. Thanks very much, guys.